Today I picked up my order from Azure Standard, and I thought I would take you along as I unpack my boxes and show you what I got. Welcome to Urban Prepping with Pam. I'm Pam. I would like to welcome you to my video, and if you are not a subscriber, I would really encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I put up a new video. Stick with me till the end of the video after I show you what I get from Azure Standard, and I'm going to talk to you about a new series that I have coming, which I think I'm very excited about, and I think that you'll find it very helpful because I'm going to be going over items that we should have stored in our house for an emergency, and even more important, how much we need to have stored. So stick with me till the end and we'll get to that. So now to the kitchen, and I'll show you what I bought. Today I picked up my Azure Standard order, and if you're not familiar with Azure Standard, they are a co-op that is a food co-op that is, I think they're based out of Oregon, and they have routes all over the country. So if you live along any of their routes, their truck routes, then you can order a wide variety of different foods. Most of it's organic, or if they're not certified organic, they're still using good practices for the food that they're growing and processing. And if you live along the route, you can go ahead and place an order and then go to a centralized location to pick up your order. So for me, it is just a public parking lot, and the semi comes up and the driver helps unload everything, and everything's marked with your name on it, and so they call your name so you know which box to pick up. And I've got a number of things that I picked up today, and so I thought I'd show that to you. This is a 25-pound bag of hard white wheat. As you might know from other videos, I grind my own grains and make my own flour, and this is what I use to make bread. And so I needed another bag, so I ordered a 25-pound bag. And Azure's prices are amazing. I think that 25-pound bag of hard white wheat berries was only $23, I think. So that was a great price. I also have, and they've been out of these for several months, and so I'm very happy to have these. These are 2-gallon food grade buckets. And I have 5-gallon buckets in my pantry, but I'll tell you, they're pretty heavy and hard to move around. So I think that in my pantry I'm going to have 2-gallon buckets to work from. And the other buckets, I don't know where I'm going to put them because I have a small house, so I'll figure something out, and when I do, I'll let you know. But I can certainly fill these smaller buckets with what's in the large bucket, and this will be easier for me to manipulate in my food pantry. I also got the Gamma Seal lids to go with. So there's, 3 lids, 3 buckets, and I'm really happy to have these. I waited a long time to get them. I got a very large bag of Mylar bags. These fit 5-gallon buckets, and there's a package of 50 of them in there, and I only paid 40 some dollars for these. That's less than $1 a bag. And I'm really thrilled with this because the quality, I wasn't sure what I was getting. I've never bought these before. I normally get my 5-gallon Mylar bags off of Amazon, but they've been out of them for months. And Azure was out of them too, but I got lucky. I got my Mylar bags in my buckets here. But the quality, so I've never gotten these before. I wasn't quite sure how good they would be, but I'm really, really pleased. They're nice and thick. They have the Ziploc top. And then, of course, you iron the upper portion here after you've got everything in there sealed. You put your oxygen absorber in there. I was going to do a video on one prior, but we ran out of bags, and so I wasn't able to make a video on that. So now that I have some bags, I might do that. First of all, I got coconut milk powder. My husband is lactose intolerant, and so I would like to make a healthier version of coffee creamer for him, because he's been using that Coffee Mate, and you know, if you read the ingredients in there, I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to give it a try. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'll let you know, but I'm going to make some coffee creamer. Maybe I'll make a video of that too. I'm going to make some coffee creamer with this for him, and he can try it and see if he likes it. Hopefully it'll work out for him. And then I got 2 bags of sucanat. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. So sucanat, the reason they call it sucanat is SU for sugar, CA for cane, and NAT for natural. And what this is sugarcane juice that has been dehydrated, and it's a replacement for sugar, refined sugar. I am just about clear of all refined products in my kitchen, which I'm very excited about. I probably will always keep a bucket of white sugar just because, but I have really not been using it. I've been using the sucanat, which tastes really good. It's kind of like, it has a little bit of a brown sugar flavor to it. There is another item that is, it's lighter. I can't remember the name of it. It's not sucanat, but it's sugarcane juice or some kind of something. I don't know. It doesn't have as strong of a flavor, but Azure Standard has been out of that. So we've been using this, and it works really well. We both like it a lot. I bought masa harina. I think that's how you say it. I bought myself a tortilla maker. My husband loves tortillas. He's Puerto Rican, so I don't know. Tortillas are Mexican. But when he grew in Mexican neighborhoods in Chicago, and so he loves Mexican food. He grew up on Mexican food and Puerto Rican food. And so my first attempt at making tortillas, because I'd like to make them instead of buy them, was kind of a disaster. I used my soft white wheat berries, and they were heavy. They were kind of like a flatbread. I mean, it wasn't like they were unedible. But anyway, this is what you need to make corn tortillas, which is his favorite anyway, so I'm going to give it a try. I don't know. I feel like I need to conquer that, so we'll see how that goes. And then I bought einkorn. Now these have the hulls on them. Einkorn is an ancient grain. It's an ancient wheat grain, and these are unhulled. And the reason I bought these are for planting. You can't eat these because you can't eat the hulls. But we're going to start growing our own wheatgrass and make our own wheatgrass juice. And so I thought that we would give this einkorn a try. So these have the hulls on them. They're just really for planting. And I don't know, we'll see how that goes. That's one box. Okay, let's try this next box. Now, here's my catalog. Azure has a nice catalog, but if you're looking, this is unusual packing. I like that, it's natural. Huh. Okay, so you can go to azurestandard.com and look at all the items that they have. I will leave a link below in the notes below the this video, and I'm having a little, okay, I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at. I'll leave a link below. If you use that link and you end up purchasing from Azure, I get a little bit of a credit, which it's not a big deal. I mean, you don't have to do that. It just helps me a little bit, which I appreciate, and helps me to continue making videos. I bought a bag of pearled barley because I have a lot of beef bones. And I'm going to be making a beef bone broth, and my husband loves beef soup. It's winter time. It gets cold here in northern Indiana. So nothing like beef barley soup. Then I got, because it was cold outside, so this is kind of solidified, but I think the color will change when it gets warm. It is very cold. It feels cold. This is raw honey, which I love the honey from Azure. Soft black licorice. Everybody hates black licorice, but my husband and I love it. And I didn't know they had it there at Azure, so I saw this when I was placing my order and said, oh yeah, I gotta get that. Yellow popcorn, and of course non-GMO. They don't, Azure standard, everything is non-GMO. Is this organic? It doesn't say organic, but they still use, they don't use pesticides and anything like that. So they still have really safe growing practices. And my husband doesn't know it, but I just purchased an electric popcorn popper, which should be here on Wednesday. And so he was going to make this in the pan. We've for years been buying microwave popcorn, but again, I'd like to get away from using the microwave so much. So I think that will be healthier and it will be cheaper, that's for sure. Here's some unflavored, it's beef gelatin. You used to be able to buy unflavored gelatin in the store. I can't find it anymore. And I use it for certain things that I've come across it from time to time, and I just thought it would be nice to have a supply of this on hand. And these will all be repackaged. I'll put these in glass jars. These are purple sweet potatoes. And we are not going to eat these because these are organic. We are going to put these away in storage and plant them in the spring. And from these we will grow slips, and then we'll take the slips and plant the sweet potatoes. So these are strictly for growing. And it's nice because we know they haven't been treated with anything. I also bought tahini. And the reason I bought this is, I've got my grain mill. And if I take dried garbanzo beans and put them through my mill will grind them to a powder. I can add boiling water, and I've got instant hummus. But of course, if you're making hummus, you want tahini. So this is for the hummus that I plan on making. This is apple cider vinegar, which is raw. And we do buy the Bragg's raw vinegar. And that's like $6 for a bottle. This was under $3, which is amazing. So I thought it would be in a glass jar. I'm a little disappointed it's in plastic. But I will probably take this in, and it's got the mother in it, just like the Bragg's does. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in a glass jar. In fact, the Bragg's, we keep those jars from the Bragg's, so I'll just pour it in one of the Bragg's jars. I bought some more spelt. Spelt is another grain, wheat grain. And I use this to make Ezekiel bread. And I was running low on spelt, so I just got myself a 5-pound bag. Now these I've not bought before from Azure, so I'm looking forward to it. So I bought the popcorn. This is a white cheddar popcorn seasoning. So I thought, being that I bought the popcorn, we'd give that a try. This I'm looking forward to. This is mushroom soup mix. And it is gluten-free, GMO-free. Now we don't have a gluten problem here in this house, and so the gluten's not an issue for us. But you know, I like to make mixes, and then I have things ready to go if I'm in a hurry. And so I just thought this would make a nice soup base for some kind of a soup mix that I can pack ahead of time in jars. And then this is Italian dressing mix, and the same thing. This will come in handy for a lot of things, of course. Italian seasoning, I can put that in anything. So I thought I'd give that a try. I've not used these seasonings from Azure Standard before. So that was my Azure Standard order, and I just love buying from Azure. There's going to be a link down below in the notes. If you use that link and you end up buying something from Azure that you've never bought from Azure before, I get a little bit of a credit, which is, you know, not much, but hey, every little bit helps. And so if you use the link below, I'd really appreciate it, but it doesn't matter. Either way, Azure Standard is a wonderful company, and you can certainly find them at azurestandard.com. Now, I have this little green book. I've showed this in another video maybe a couple of months ago. Okay, and in this book, I did a lot of research, and I've got categories of different kinds of food to have stored in the house in case of an emergency, or, you know, any kind of an emergency. It can be a tornado, it can be a hurricane, it can be a fire, it can be COVID. This COVID, though, I have to say, the one good thing about COVID, if you can, you got to find a silver lining in everything. The silver lining for me in COVID was that when it first came in March, and this is the end of December already, so we're going on almost a year here. But when the lockdown first started, which was in March, and my husband and I, we've been preppers for years and years and years. Not super serious about it, but, you know, pretty serious about it. Well, we realized there were a lot of things that we were unprepared for in the event that, you know, there were a lot of shortages. What if we couldn't leave our homes? All this kind of stuff. I'm not going to get into the political aspect of it. I certainly have my own thoughts on that. But it doesn't matter where you're coming from politically on this whole COVID thing. The fact of the matter is we should all be prepared. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be COVID. I always thought maybe a tornado would come through because, you know, we have tornadoes here in Northwest Indiana. But it just made me really take a look, and my husband and I had some serious discussions, and we've really alleviated a lot of the problems that we saw in our own household. So if I have to find a silver lining, I'll say, okay, that was a silver lining in this thing, because it really got us to do some things on a really serious level that we hadn't done before. And so in my series, what I want you to do is I want you to get a notebook, and I'm going to start recording this week, and I'll start putting these videos up this week. And I don't know how many there's going to be. I think there might be 6 videos, perhaps. I'm not sure. I will probably do one video on each category, and so that way we can discuss the pros and the cons on different things. And again, this is just what works for me. So this is certainly not written in stone. It's written in an old army book. You'll have to make your own choices for your own household, and you might have to adjust certain things for your own household. But I really hope that you find the series helpful. Anyway, I'm going to go through each category, and I'm just very excited about this because I get a lot of questions from people that I know that don't know where to start. They don't know how much to have. They don't even know what items to have in their house. You know, a lot of people, they know that they should store rice, but they don't know how to cook it. I've said that before. A lot of people buy, you know, rice and beans. You know, you're supposed to have rice and beans in case of an emergency, but they don't know how to cook beans. And so, you know, if you never eat beans in your house, that might not be the best thing for you to buy. And so I'm going to go that step by step, and I hope you find it helpful. And look for those videos coming out in a few days. I'm probably going to record the first video tomorrow, and I'll get that up as fast as I can. And like I said, I think there might be about 6 videos. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the Azure Standard Haul for December 2020. Look forward to my new series if you're interested in knowing what kind of items to store in your home and the quantity of, you know, how much you should have for your family, because we're going to go through all of that in a lot of detail. So I hope to see you in a few days. Come back and join me. Subscribe. If you want to know when I put up my new videos, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.